Good morning, class. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the elements of plot. And so I want you guys to know that there's 5 elements that we're going to be looking at. So if you see this little mountain right here, those are the 5 elements that we're talking about. And so as I go through this PowerPoint, I want you guys to take out your notebooks and take notes on what we learn about the 5 elements, okay? So first of all, we have to know what plot is. So the plot is the chain of events that make up a story. And every story has a plot. So every book has a plot, every chapter of a book has a plot, every movie has a plot. It's all of the action in that story. And so the 5 elements that we're going to be learning about are the introduction, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. So as we go through and we talk about these 5 elements, I want you guys to think about the books that you guys have been reading, okay? And as I tell you what these 5 elements are, I want you to think about how it could connect to your book. So here's a short little video. I'm not going to show it to you right now, but you can go back and watch it on your own time. And basically, it just tells you the 5 components of plot, and it describes it as up a mountain. So just like that first picture we saw, it's going to be like you're climbing up a mountain, and once we reach the climax, which is the very tippy top of the mountain, or it could be like the very tippy top of a roller coaster, that's the climax, and then we're going to start going down. So as I talk about it, I want you guys to think of it like that, as a mountain or as a roller coaster, okay? So first, at the bottom of our mountain, we have the introduction, and it's sometimes called the exposition. And this is where the main characters are introduced, the setting is introduced, it's where we're going to get all of our background information. The second part is the rising action. So this is the part of the story where we're starting to climb up the peak. We're climbing up that mountain, we're on the side. And this is typically where an incident might occur. And so it's going to build up to the main event. And so this part could be multiple events, it could be one single event, but it's probably going to be the biggest part of the plot. So now the climax. I said that one's at the very top of the mountain, right? In the top of your mountain or the top of your roller coaster. So this is the climax. This is the peak of the story when everything is about to change. It's the big turning point in your story. So this is often when there's a problem or a conflict, and it's normally really interesting and really exciting. It makes the reader want to keep reading so we know what's going to happen. This is all of like the big action in your story. All right. So now we're starting to go down the mountain, and we have the falling action. So this is a result of the climax. So whatever happened up here, this is what happens after. And so this is when the author kind of starts to resolve the conflict from the story. All right, so the last one, the 5th element of plot is resolution. So this is going to be the last part of the story. So this is when the author is starting to wrap everything up. He's tying up loose ends. This is when everything is getting resolved. And it's typically when there's a happily ever after. And so this is the very bottom of our mountain, the very end. And so here's another video that I'm not going to show you also, but you can come back and you can watch it on your own time, but this is going to explain those 5 elements to you again, and it's going to go through a couple different Disney movies and give examples of those. So we are going to continue working on projects about plot, and so you can grab your books that we've been working on, and I want you guys to go back and you can look at your notes that you took. You can go back to this PowerPoint and go watch those 2 videos, okay? And so you can have all of that in mind as we work on our projects together.